of disappointment for home buyers. Reserve Bank of India seems to have dug its heels and saying, no, we are not going to cut interest rates till inflation mellows down and the government really narrows or looks serious about narrowing its fiscal deficit. So, no interest rate cut. What's going on the home loan front? Harsh Roongta, CEO apnapaisa.com, joins us for the expert segment. Harsh, thanks very much for joining me. I think if you look at all the figures, most banks say that they haven't really lost any business despite the high interest rate regime in home loans.
Well, I think as long as the interest rates are generally common across banks, I don't think and the demand for home loans is there because there is demand for end use housing. I think except for these pockets or except for probably a city like Bombay and certain pockets in Delhi and certain other metros, I think clearly the need for own housing continues to be fairly robust, and therefore the need for home loan is also high. That is not to say that if the rates were to fall, there would not be an increase in demand. Probably the growth rate is muted because of the increase in because of the high interest rates. Should the rates fall, I think we'll see a much higher growth.
Absolutely, and I think the portfolio shifted a little bit. If you look at the growth, the figures might for let's say an HDFC still be very robust, but I think high ticket home loans have gone down if you look at a typical portfolio, and more loans are being given in that 30 to 60 lakh bracket. All right, let's move on then to this question. Pranshu Dogra is on the phone line with us. Hi Pranshu, go ahead. All right, let's take this as an email. I believe we've lost the question. Lost the caller. I'm planning to buy a flat in Chandigarh, Zirakpur, he says. For this, I'm planning to take a help from my parents, and below are the options. Can I take home loan from my parents and take tax exemptions? How good is taking a home loan against FD versus home loan from a bank? Can I take tax exemptions on loan against FD? So it's an interesting question, Harsh.
So first of all, I think I'm not very clear why Pranshu wants to take a loan. I mean, if his parents, his first question was, will he get tax deductions if he takes a loan from his parents? Clearly, as far as the interest that he pays or is payable to his parents, the deduction remains the same whether he takes it from a bank or a housing finance company or from his parents. He'll get the same level of deduction. However, the principal portion, you also have this limit of 1 lakh for your life insurance payments, provident fund, as well as the principal portion of loan repaid. Now that is not available if you take it from parents. That deduction for principal repayment is available only if you take it from a bank or a housing finance company or an employer company or certain other categories of lenders. So as far as tax deduction is concerned, the major deduction is clearly available. I think the second question that Pranshu raised was about FD. Now, if I had a fixed deposit, there is no earthly reason why I would continue that fixed deposit at a lower rate and take a home loan at a higher rate unless the fixed deposit is locked in at a rate that is higher than the loan that I am getting, which is unlikely because even though the home loan interest is deductible, the fixed deposit, the interest that you get on the fixed deposit is taxable. So I mean, unless and until you have a fixed deposit rate that is higher than your home loan rate, it doesn't make sense to lock in your money at a lower rate and borrow at a higher rate. The situation might arise in one case where say the fixed deposit is with the parents and they don't really want to and they're living off the interest, but they don't mind giving it as a security, in which case typically the bank would charge about 1 or 2% higher than the bank FD rate. Now that's a very simple decision. If the interest rate on the loan against FD is lower than the interest rate on a home loan, go for the loan against FD, otherwise go for the home loan. The deduction clearly for home loan purposes, whether you take it as a home loan or a loan against FD, as long as it is from the bank and you can show that the purpose of the loan was to acquire a house, there is no difference in the deduction at all. It is the purpose of the loan that is important, not the name of the loan.
Fair enough. And Harsh, it also then begs another question. If he's got such large amounts lying as bank FDs against which he can actually afford to take a loan and buy a whole home, why not a home saver loan account? Some banks do offer that product and it's a brilliant product, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Absolutely. He should take a home. If it is his own fixed deposit, as I said, if it is his own fixed deposit, yes, that's what he should do. If it is his parents' FD, then maybe that's not an option that's available to him.
All right, Harsh, we had many more things to discuss today with you, but unfortunately we'll have to do an early wrap because of that very important banking amendment bill getting passed and a big discussion around that. I hope to see you again in the new year very soon.
Same to you. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to take this next email. Guru Raj writes